Practical SQL Server 2012, Administration and Programming, Database Design, Logical Database Modeling with Visio. Well, what is logical database modeling? Well, it is an art which was developed just recently for computer science. Basically, we are dealing with data and the database at a very conceptual level. Its terminology is slightly different from database terminology, but it establishes the conceptual underpinnings of a physical database design. Let's see what are the benefits if we do logical database modeling before actually starting with physical database modeling and physical database design. Clarifies data specifications, confirms business data processing requirements, focuses on high level. It says independent of database technology. Most of the time the database technology is given. It may be IBM DB2, Oracle, Microsoft, SQL Server. Over some cases it's not decided, but all of them are relational database systems. Establishes data encoding needs, becomes a template for database design, which is very important. Foster better communications between database designer and application developers. Establishes an initial naming scheme. Things are named. Entities are named, and depends how many attributes you put. Then you could say that columns are named as well. Most important role of the establishment is the entity and the relationship cardinality. This is the most important. Attribute you can add later. It is important, but you have to get the relationships right. So let's see how we do with Visio. This is Visio 2007, the latest version of Visio. And we are in software and database model diagram. Click. We are ready to design. And we are going to design an online order processing system. So let's start with entering the title. Online order entry. Let's shift it over. So we grabbed it and moved it over. Now we have to grab it and move it up. So let's do that. Okay, great. And time to save it. Why save it this early? Well, when we establish it as a Visio file, so let's save it. So we assign online order entry as the name. We can proceed now bringing in the entities. So let's do that in this order entry system. This is for the order table. This is for the order detail table. This is for the product table, and this is for the customer table. Well, let's start just entering the names first so we don't forget it. So this is order, and this is order detail, and this is product, and this is customer. Well, there is one more item missing in the shipping company. Shipping. So we have a basic entities in, and we are using entities, probably everybody understands, because if the entity is a 10 years old, 10 years bond, then you need expert actually to understand that entity and describe it. But we are using something which everybody is familiar with to a certain degree. So let's establish the relationships, which is very, very important. So imagine if you are placing an order on Amazon and you are placing a book for 5 books. So the detail would come here. On the other hand, the main common shared information about the order, like your name, the date of order, and also the total amount you are paying, shipping information would come here. So therefore the relationship is many to one. So let's do that. Let's drag this. Okay, so that's anchored. Great. So now we have to anchor the one side also. Okay, all right. So this is a one to many. Great. Product. One order detail for one order can have one or more products. So the relationship here is one to many. So let's grab the relationships. So the many will be here, and the one we are going to pull over here. When it turns red, drop. Great. Let's magnify it a little so we have a better view. And here is the customer. One customer can place many orders, so the relationship is one to many. So a customer is a many part. And the order is the one part. Great. And a shipping company can ship many orders. So this is a many part. And the one part is shipping table. Well, we did significant amount of work, so it's time to save. So we saved it. Now we can go one step further in logical data modeling and try to fill in some of the information in the boxes. So we did the definitions. So let's do the primary ID. The primary ID is going to be order ID and the data type should be integer. So this is kind of, we are flipping over to initial database design, and that's okay. And let's add order date. And the data type should be, well, date time. That's fine. And let's go to primary ID. And now we can select a primary ID, and it's going to be the order ID. So now we filled in some information into the order table. We can follow up the same way in the order detail table. In the order detail table, we have reference to the order ID and we have reference to the product ID. So let's enter first the primary ID for a product table. So the column is going to be product ID, and it's going to be int, and then product name, and that can be, let's see, varchar 50. We can keep it for varchar 10 for the time being. When we translate it to physical database, we are going to change it. So primary ID is going to be product ID. Let's reposition it. So we have a better view. And we see right away that Visio filled in the order ID and product ID automatically for us as foreign keys, because we indicated the many-to-one relationships. So this is fantastic. Visio database diagrammer is helping us. So let's go to order detail. It's not clear that what is a primary key in order detail. So let's establish the primary key. Actually, order ID and product ID. So this is going to be the primary key, a composite primary key for order detail. And you may have noticed when we looked at Visio diagrams, we seen the convention, how it's handling composite primary keys, indicating that the primary key is composite, PK, PK, and FK1, FK2 refers to the foreign keys. Let's fill in the at least a primary key information and for shipping and customer as well. So time to save. Our logical data model is getting into really neat shape. And we recognize the elements now of database modeling. There is the entity called table. There is a primary key. There is a foreign key reference. And also there is a non-key attribute. So this is like a regular column in a table. So what we learned in this lesson, how well we can use Visio as a database design tool, starting with the logical database modeling and proceeding to physical database design. This is the end of the unit.